Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, currently we have 4 months to go before the election, and Donald Trump is in a good position to recapture the presidency and get a non-contiguous second term. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the be-all and end-all of this election, because you also have down-ballot elections. And while the House is kind of seen to go whichever way the presidency is going to go, the Senate is a little bit more complicated. And while it's very, very likely that Republicans are going to go out there and retake the Senate, it's still important that we fill this map out and see how many seats it's going to take and how many seats they're capable of getting. Because even if they get a majority, 50 would cut it if Donald Trump is the president, but you would like to have as many seats as possible. You want a rhino-proof majority. You want to be able to go out there and accomplish things. And if you're able to do that, if you have the House, you could seriously enact a lot of change for this country. And if the win is big enough, you have a mandate to do it. And that's very true. So we're going to fill this map out. But first, I have to tell you guys about our friends over at Nextiva. Because if you own a business that relies on having effective communication with clients through phone calls or text messaging to close deals, did you know you could automate up to 90% of your interactions and eliminate 30% or more of your costs, and you can do it without having any tech experience? Even if you're running your business off your personal phone right now and your CRM is a spreadsheet, this is all possible thanks to the sponsor of today's video, at Nextiva. It's an AI-driven platform that gives you seamless, personalized customer interactions across all channels. Look, communication's key. I've had to switch internet providers before because the customer service just wasn't there. And as business owners, you need to be able to have people reach you in order to deal with any problems, or people are going to leave your business as well. Nextiva lets you create new phone numbers, gives you unlimited calling, texting, and an auto attendant that you can run from your phone or computer. You also get an AI-powered dashboard that will show you all conversations in one platform, including an AI voice and AI chatbot that can interact with your clients for you. You get all of this inside one app. If I was going to run a business and use Nextiva, I would be able to have all the voicemails, all the calls, all the messaging right here in the dashboard. As you guys can see here, gives you all the contact information, gives you the transcripts, definitely makes everything run relatively seamlessly. No longer will your team have to switch between 18 different apps to get the job done. You can make this one change and your business will look as polished as a Fortune 500 company, and you'll be able to focus on closing and scaling. This is the year to level up your business, lower your costs, and take full advantage of AI. Go to trynextiva.com/redeagle or use the link down in the description below to get 50% off your plan. All right, guys, back to the video. We're going to be filling out this map. We're going to be starting off with the safe Republican Senate seats. These are states that are going to go Republican by 10 points or more. We're going to start off with North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, both of these Senate races in Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Indiana, and West Virginia, which will be a flip into the Republican column as Joe Manchin's retiring. But even if he wasn't, I still think it would be a flip. And now we can fill out the states that are going to go in the Democrat column by 10 points no matter what. You have Washington, California, Hawaii. You have Maryland, Delaware, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, and the state of New York. And also, I believe Maine and Minnesota are both going to be going Democrat by 10 points or more. You will see in Maine, you will have Angus King probably win by more than 10. And I think Klobuchar, she's not going to win by 30 like she did in 2018. If you look at this, she won by like 24. She's not going to win by that margin with Trump on the ballot. But definitely that margin is going to be cut significantly, but I still think it'll be over 10. And the reason why we have Maryland as safe blue is because I think Larry Hogan, while he does pose more of a threat than any other Republican would in Maryland, I still don't believe he's going to get it to be within 10 percentage points. So without further ado, let's move on to the likely Republican seats, the seats that are going to go red by 5 to 10 points. And we could start off with Texas, Ted Cruz. He's going to be going up against Colin Allred. 2018, he barely won, actually. He only won by 2.6 points during the blue wave year of 2018, but it seems as if he's going to hold on just fine. His image has improved a little bit. He's definitely taking this race more seriously, and at the top of the ticket, Donald Trump is looking to win the state by closer to his 2016 margin, if not by more than that. Than his 2020 margin. Ted Cruz will win by at least 5 points, and Rick Scott in Florida, especially with the way Florida's moving, he's definitely kind of had this ability to always just, narrowly win races. I think this is not even going to be a narrow win for him. He should win fairly easily. So we can now move to the likely Democrat seats here. We have New Jersey, where it seems as if the Republicans are polling within 10%, in part because you have Bob Menendez running as an independent into the state of New Jersey, and because I think the presidential margin is going to narrow. I think the Senate race is going to be possibly, just a little bit under 10%, but I still believe that the Democrats are going to hold it without really that much of a problem. And that's that for New Jersey. So now we can move on to the lean Republican Senate seats here. We could start off with Ohio. And Donald Trump on the ballot is huge because it doesn't matter who the Republicans put up for the Senate race. They're going to get a massive boost against Sherrod Brown, who is in many ways overrated. He ran against a terrible candidate back in 2018, and he only won by 6 points and change, and that was without Trump on the ballot. You had counties like Mahoning County, he was winning them by like 21. It's virtually, in my opinion, impossible that Donald Trump would lose counties like this. Definitely there's a big top-of-the-ticket poll. Sherrod Brown might win Mahoning County. It's not going to be by much. He's not going to win Trumbull, in my opinion, or Ashtabula this time around. I think that Bernie Moreno is going to end up winning by like 3 to 4 points. They're spending a lot of money on that race on both sides. I think because Trump's at the top of the ticket, he's going to pull Bernie Moreno across the finish line in the state of Ohio. And speaking of top of the ticket effects, you have Montana, Tim Sheehy running a relatively strong campaign so far. A lot of funding. That's going to be an expensive race, but Tester's going to be burning that money. He only won by 3.7 percentage points back in 2018, and this was like an afterthought. A lot of Republicans didn't even focus on this race. They didn't think they could win it. They fell short. You have a candidate that has a lot more money, a stronger resume this time around running against Tester. I think that it's pretty obvious with Trump on the top of the ticket, and he's polling ahead of Biden by 20. You're going to see him carry Sheehy, and Sheehy will knock off Tester possibly by even more than 5 points. We just have really yet to determine the final margin as of now. So now we have the lean Democrat Senate seats. We'll start off with the state of Virginia. Hung Cao is running a strong campaign. He's a very strong candidate. And on top of it, you have Donald Trump doing a lot better in the state of Virginia. You have Glenn Youngkin coming out in full force as a campaign surrogate, the popular governor. I'm not sure it's going to be enough, but I do think that Hung Cao does have this outside chance. I've been predicting it for a while. I've had it as lean Democrat for a while. I'm going to keep it as lean Democrat right now, although things very well could change for the better as time goes on. We also have New Mexico, where you are running the heiress to the Dominici throne, the former electoral juggernaut Senator Pete Dominici. His daughter Nella Dominici is going to be the Republican nominee, and she's going to be going up against Martin Heinrich, and there's been recent polling that has it as a virtual tie. Personally, I think it's still going to go in the Democrat column. I think Trump is probably at this point, he could get the state around a 5-point loss for him or a 5-point Biden win, and it's possible the Senate race could be a point or two closer, but still I have it staying in the Democrat column as of now. So that's it for the lean states. Let's fill out the competitive toss-up states the rest of the way. All 5 which went Democrat in 2018, the last time these seats were up. But you look at Pennsylvania, I wrote off McCormick a little bit early on, but it does seem as if because Trump is just doing so well at the top of the ticket and he's got a decent amount of money and he's running a decent campaign so far, I think it's going to be close. Bob Casey's still Bob Casey, but with Trump on the ticket, it being a presidential year, I really can't see like a massive 7-8 point split. And you see this as a recurring theme in terms of these down ballot candidates. Some are, polling 10 points ahead of Biden. I don't really see it happening, at least not at the end of the day. This is a common phenomenon in polling that we've seen in past election years, even 2020, 2016, for example. But I do believe that in terms of Pennsylvania, that this is going to be competitive. I still think Casey would win, but I don't think it's going to be by the margin he won it by in 2018 when he won the state by 13.1 percentage points. Up next, you have the state of Michigan. Debbie Stabenow is retiring, and Republicans are putting up Mike Rogers, decent candidate overall, decent ability to fundraise. Then you have Alyssa Slotkin on the other side, who tries to do this whole fake moderate, CIA shtick that's basically allowed her to get into office in 2018, stay in office in 2020 and 2022, just because of the debate, because of Trump's little bump that he got in Michigan with even the pre-debate poll that we saw. And the fact that polling in Pennsylvania and Michigan for the Senate races is actually a lot closer than some of these other races, less of a disparity than like Nevada, for example. But that's beside the point. I do think as of now, you could make the case that Michigan would be a narrow flip and Republicans would have their first senator in the state since Stabenow beat Spencer Abraham all the way back in 2000. So then you look at the state of Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin's running up against Eric Hovde. Hovde's a very strong candidate, in my opinion, just based off of the fact that he's very likable. But again, he's going up against a very strong incumbent, which is kind of an issue. But in terms of Wisconsin, as it stands, it's a winnable race. It depends on the top of the ticket. As of right now, I just think ticket splitting in the driftless area is going to be a little bit too much to overcome for him, but we'll see. He had a lot of momentum. It seems like that momentum's kind of waning, but it doesn't mean that it's an unwinnable seat at all. So we go to the Southwest for the last two. Arizona, Ruben Gallego and Kari Lake. Kari Lake in some recent polling has done a little bit better, but there is still this big disparity between her and Trump. It's possible that at the end of the day could end up being a mirage, but Arizona is a state that does actually like to split their tickets a decent amount. And Gallego's trying to run as a fake moderate. He's spending all these, tens of millions of dollars in advertisements trying to portray him as a moderate when he's really anything but. And I think this is still going to be a very close race. But as of right now, I think Gallego is still favored. If we see some polling with Lake up, I'd be willing to possibly change that. But as of right now, I still think Gallego is the narrow favorite, a narrower favorite than a lot of people say, but still the favorite. And then we have the state of Nevada. You have Sam Brown going up against Jackie Rosen, who knocked off Dean Heller in 2018. And again, you talk about Clark County. She won it by 14.2 points. There's no way that's going to happen again, all things considered. Sam Brown is somebody who has an interesting resume. He has an interesting face as well, possibly could garner him some sympathy votes. I think that Trump's going to win the state by a few points. I don't think the Senate candidate's going to lag behind that much, especially being as, generic as Sam Brown is. So I think overall you're going to see Republicans end up with 54 Senate seats and Democrats are going to end up with 46 Senate seats when it's all said and done. A gain of 5 Senate seats for the Republicans, which would be absolutely huge. The map works in their favor. That's a big part of it. That's kind of why you have West Virginia, Ohio, Montana already out of the gate. Then I think they'll add Michigan and Nevada, especially if Donald Trump is going to sweep the board in the swing states, which as of right now, I do believe he's going to do. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle out.